Hello, everybody. Welcome back. It is day 4 of the Alpha to Omega. We've got today, tomorrow, and the next day that we will have a stream back to back. And that'll cover the first 7 days of the Alpha to Omega playthrough, and then we'll start lessening those streams to a as needed basis or as upgrade basis. This is going to be your sort of initiation week and showing you how to get started and how to start getting comfortable with playing the game. Today I really wanted to explain the differences in module rarity between tech level modules, faction modules, and dead space modules. Currently there is only one officer module in the game, and we only know of one individual officer module in existence, currently floating around somewhere out in nullsec. And it's currently on I think it's on a battleship bomber, or a bomber battleship, I should say. And so we won't cover the officer modules other than they are more powerful than Dead Space modules. And extremely rare, since there's only one in existence that we know of at this point in time. So our first rewards of the day are 5,000 experience for our daily supplies. We're still not getting anything for the growth fund because we are we are 5 days away from Tech 5. Let's go ahead and grab our daily corporation reward. So for our daily corporation reward, we got another 50,000 experience. That will start slowing down after the 7-day period. We'll get one at 15 days and then 30 days of joining a fort after that. Okay, let's see here. So we've got small drone operation going. It would take most of our SP to do this. So what I think I want to do is remove these. We know we're not far off from being able to fly a cruiser because of the
How are you feeling, pilot?
road to set sail.
How are you feeling, pilot?
So we can do day 4 and day 5 road to set sail today. And then we'll have day 6 and day 7. Okay, so for day 4, we'll be given 1,000 Concord credits. And at day 5, we will be given 100 gift IP. Once we complete all these random objectives. In our advanced tutorial, we will be given a destroyer engineering chip. What is the next one we given? Chip for trade, accounting, and freight. Okay. After that, it is common ore reprocessing, 10 IP. Hardening for shield, armor hardening. So we'll be given skill points for that. Alright. We're still a long way off from completing all of this, but as we go, it'll be fine. So our goal today is to do maybe like complete 10 missions on each character, or complete that 15 million in bounties. That would be nice. Tech level 5 is going to be a limitation, so we don't have to push this so hard.
How are you feeling, pilot?
Alright. What do I want to do today? We were doing missions yesterday, and we were given a Corax, which uses only missiles. So perhaps what I want to do is either set up a maybe I want to set up a Corax trainer, and we'll take that out to Nullsec, maybe? Or Lowsec, not Nullsec. We can also look at getting some what is it called? Ships, frigates, basic. The Kestrels, since I know Kestrels can go out to Lowsec and be just fine. The Corax trainer is a little bit different from the Dragoon trainer because it focuses mainly on the missiles. And so I would run mobility on it, some sort of tank like a shield booster, and then a damage module. The 25% flight velocity will mean that the missiles will have a longer range, which is useful. We can also look at going mining. Mining is a very easy way to just make some quick ISK if you needed to. It's not a whole lot, but it is a way to do so. Thoughts, what to do? Just gonna repackage the special catalyst trainers that we were given from the tutorial. We're gonna quickly fulfill some of our missions. Guess
How
I
are you
forgot to
feeling,
look
pilot?
at our missions. Okay. I select this, check out the insurance page real quick. The insurance page will tell you a lot about like your ship's average cost based on the market, the cost it will be to you with insurance points to replace said ship. So long as you have insurance points and it covers the ship itself, you will be given the minimum compensation price with the 80% discount. Every time you die in that ship, each week, it will take away the insurance discount each time you die. So, for example, the first time you die, you'll be given this 80% discount. If you die a second time, you'll maybe given like 70 or 50% discount, and it'll keep reducing until you cannot get a insurance point discount on replacing your ship. Okay, what was another thing? Sort items in your inventory. So let's do that. We're just gonna hit this sort option. You can sort it by names, quantity, or type. I prefer sorting by type. And personally, I like having weapons at the top and other items at the bottom. However, it is also a good thing if you sort it the other way around, because later on in the game you'll be sifting through your entire list of stuff as you gather items and just have a lot of stuff laying around. Let's see here. We need to check out repairs in the station. We were checking that out yesterday a little bit every time we had, or not yesterday, but day 2, when we had to do a lot of repairs. So we're just gonna hit that button down here at the bottom right of your screen. And then I need to save a fitting plan of your ship's current fittings. So if you go to fittings, we'll come up here to the top left. And then you can hit save and confirm. This will allow you to more quickly swap between fittings. So if you wanted to have 2 different fits and you want to swap quickly between them, you'll see one fit, you'll fit up your ship, save that second fit, and then you can come to fitting management and you can hit apply and it will auto fit all of those things. It will not change rigs, because rigs have to be destroyed if you want to change them. Later on, if you have implants, the rigs inside a integrated rig will be destroyed, and then the integrated rig module can come off. Or you can pay an exorbitant amount of money to try to get all that back. Okay. Let's check our
How are you feeling, pilot?
road to set sail and see what we can complete next. Go ahead and grab our insurance points. We went from having 35 insurance points to now having 135 insurance points, meaning we can replace our current ship 10 times at the current discount, so we can die once a week and get everything back. So let's claim our growth fund, or at least hit the button and just claim that. Events. Let's go to growth fund. So we actually have to claim it. Okay, so that will happen when we hit Tech 5. So let's check out the Concord Pass, and then we'll earn 300,000 ISK. We did get some levels in our Concord Pass, so that's nice. We are still running with our current missions. This mission inheritance, if you spend 1 million ISK, it will keep your missions all the way till the end of this current cycle, so you don't have to reset them every week, I should say. It is a very good investment to do so, especially if you complete them quickly in a week. I'm going to grab a decoding key. This will give me a chance to get a nanocore from the nanocore collection. If you open a maximum of 60 nanocores, you will be automatically given one of the battleship nanocore boxes. So you'll see here we got 8 of our general computing. This one was given 16 of the general computing, and this one is given, what is that, 90 of the general databanks. We will be using these later on in the game in order to upgrade a nanocore, so it's good to have them. Make sure when you do these, you claim all of your items. Check our notifications real quick. What do we want to do with our skill points? I'm thinking because we're like 3 days away from moving into a cruiser, I want to start skilling into cruiser-related skills. So that would be medium weapons. So that would be medium drones and medium missiles in our case. We also want to skill into cruiser command, cruiser engineering, and cruiser defense. We will be flying cruisers for a very long time before we step into battle cruisers. The most beneficial skill for us of all of those will be cruiser command. So let's go ahead and grab our cruiser command skill. We may be given a skill chip for that. So we will have to check on that. The way I'm going to check on that is by going to our advanced tutorial. Does not have it. Road to set sail. Okay, road to set sail will not give us that. Maybe under our daily gifts. Supplies. No, we're a long way from getting any kind of skill point container we actually won't get any skill point container on the main track. Okay. So yeah, let's go ahead and start training into Cruiser Command. And we have 7 hours left on Cruiser Command 4. The reason we're choosing Cruiser Command 4 is because of the skills on the trainer ship that we will be getting, which will give us an inertia modifier to our Vexor trainer. After that, we will be skilling into medium drone operation and medium drone damage. I'm thinking once we complete day 6, and we were given 80,000 skill points, we'll go ahead and skill into our weapon systems. Let's grab our daily special. Yeah, we won't be sitting in a destroyer for very long. It's only about 3 more days. Or 2 more days. And on the 3rd day, we'll be in a cruiser. So we want to try to get prepared for that cruiser early on. It's one of the many reasons why I have chosen to stay with the Dragoon trainer rather than move into an actual Dragoon. And I am going to jump into the Corax because I feel like I really want to fly the Corax today rather than flying our drone ship. And we will go to Gina for some modules.
Autopilot engaged. Undocking.
The Corax
Warp drive
is
active.
one of the best ships that I have ever flown as a destroyer in this game. It is so much fun to be able to have a wild amount of range on the missiles. And it's just overall a reasonable ship to fly as an alpha pilot.
Warp drive active. Destination docking request accepted.
Okay, so the other thing I actually do want to look at, though, is if I can afford a normal Corax. I might consider to do that. No, I cannot. So on the Corax trainer, there we are. We're given missile damage, rapid fire range, and flight velocity for the missiles. Missile damage is nice because usually on missiles you're going to want to have raw damage rather than activation time. Missiles apply their damage very differently from other weapon systems. They have an explosion radius, an explosion velocity for that radius, and they have flight time and flight velocity, all in one weapon system. The flight time and the flight time determines sort of how long a missile can be out in space. The flight velocity will determine how fast it will go to its target. The explosion radius is how big of an explosion the missile will make after detonating on a target. And the explosion velocity is how fast that explosion expands to its maximum radius. Generally, you're gonna want a faster flight, or you want a faster flight velocity, a lower flight time, kind of, a smaller explosion radius, and a faster explosion velocity. That combination of traits will allow you to apply damage to ships faster and more reliably. Let's pick up some missiles for these ships. Since they only use missiles or torpedoes, we should use our missiles so we can be at maximum range. So each weapon type has three sort of main groupings of weapon rarity. You will have your tech level weapon systems, that would be civilian, Mark 1, Mark 3, Mark 5, Mark 7, and Mark 9 missiles, in our case. Each one of those Mark 1, Mark 3, Mark 5 correspond to the tech level that you can start using that weapon system at. So if I want to use a Mark 9 small missile, I will have to be Tech 9 to actually use it. The next tier is this green colored equipment. These are going to be your faction missiles or reward missiles. Reward missiles are these lighter green colors and they have the box around them. A low-end reward missile for us is going to be the Gallows Small Missile, or the high-end reward missile is the Discipline Small Missile. You can get those from completing story missions and killing elite enemies. In those missions, they have a chance to drop them. I believe each level of story mission is going to have a different reward. You can also get them from rolling loot crates that you can buy off of the market from people that are running story missions and being rewarded those loot crates. You can buy them with ISK and open them for free if you're feeling like gambling and seeing what you get. I highly do not recommend doing that because that is a great way to waste a whole lot of ISK. The next sort of tier up from the reward is the faction missiles themselves. That'll be Caldari Navy, Republic Fleet, True Sansha, Dread Baristas, and Domination small missiles. In this case, there's a little bit of trade-off between some of these, but in most cases, it won't matter what that trade-off is, since it'll be mostly down to the fitting requirements or the capacitor need of those missiles. Or, not missiles, but like pieces of equipment. Faction equipment for an alpha player is going to be the best equipment that you can get until you hit Omega. Faction equipment does not have a tech level associated with it, so that means a tech level 1 character can actually use some of the best equipment at the start of the game, so long as they have the ISK or the means to get it. These are going to be highly expensive pieces of equipment because of that want to have them, which drives prices up in cost. The next tier up from faction missiles, which requires Omega, it is called Dead Space equipment. These are going to be labeled with a sort of C-type, B-type, A-type, and X-type, with different names in front of them, like Pithy or Pith. Or Centis, or Corum, Corfum. They are going to be the best equipment available in-game, and you can see here by the estimated market price of some of this equipment, it can be very expensive to equip your ship with these, and some of these are just not available on the market ever. These are going to have significantly higher DPS improvements over some of the available faction equipment, and certainly much better than the standard tech level equipment. Today we are going to be putting on Mark III missiles, and we need 3 of them for our Coraxes. We're also going to go to our mid slots here, since the only beneficial mid slot we can have because of our ship's skill bonuses, it will be a stasis web of fire. So a Mark 1 is going to cost us 39,000, a Mark 3 is going to cost us 250,000, we cannot afford a Mark 5, so I'm going to go with a Mark 1 unless we can get our hands on an interruptive. Nope. The Mark 1s will help us lock down smaller ships that come close to us, and allow our missiles to do better damage and have better application. Okay, now we will look at low slots. The Corax is a shield-based ship, so we want to go with a armor, or a shield booster rather than an armor repairer. Shield boosters take up more capacitor for every cycle. They heal less, but they activate more often. They can provide significant tank when set up in a way to absorb that high amounts of damage, but you will go through capacitor like crazy. We're gonna get 3 small shield boosters. I doubt we will be capacitor stable with a shield booster and a afterburner, but we will see. Let's see here, afterburners. Those are expensive. Let's go with Mark 1s. The next upgrade I want to look at will be either a missile guidance computer or a damage module, the ballistic control system. The ballistic control will increase our damage, and then we can activate it for 20 seconds to get additional damage on top of that by having, or not additional damage, but an additional activation time. The missile guidance computer is at Tech 5, so I cannot use it. What that does in our situation, it would give us better application from the explosion velocity and explosion radius, and also give us a longer range from the flight time bonus. So we will skip out on that, and we will go for a ballistic control system. See if any of these are affordable. They are not. So we will get 3 ballistic control systems. While we're here, I also want to look at our combat rigs and get some weapon rigs. We want missile rigs because we only have missiles. And what I want to have is is 1 fuel cache and 1 hydraulic bay, or we want 2 bay loading accelerators. Bay loading accelerators are highly expensive, but they're going to reduce our activation time by 7.5% for the first one, and I believe it's something like 6.2% or 5% for the second one, if we have 2 equipped. I'm leaning toward the hydraulic bay thrusters with the rocket fuel cache. So we can have significantly increased range on our missiles, which will keep us away from ships with high damage. I doubt we will want to buy any engineering rigs, so we're just gonna go ahead and equip our Coraxes. Because we're in Gina, things are just not working quite right, so I have to exit out the game and reload for this one. This one is also having that glitch. This will give us a missile range of 22.6 kilometers. But you'll notice we have no fall off, which means our maximum range is 22.68 kilometers. We cannot hit any further than that. Fuel booster. Afterburner. Damage. Fuel cache and bank thruster. This should be the same thing, 22.68 kilometers. We are going to set our orbit for 20 kilometers. Usually, when you have a afterburner or micro warp drive, your ship will tend to sit just a little bit further away from the orbit that you actually want. So you have to compensate just a little bit for that.
Undocking.
Missiles are generally going to have a lower DPS number, but they make up for it in the raw damage per hit. I'm gonna pull up the star chart real quick. Because I need to save perimeter as my system, as a system. If you ever miss your things, what's that? A naval caretaker. I don't think I've seen that before. Save location. Yes.
Autopilot engaged.
See if I can
Warp drive
find
active.
fleet commands here. It'll be under the timed one. And let's see what missions we can do.
Destination reached.
I will usually combine my main weapon systems. Go ahead and go to encounters here. What do we have? We have 3 missions here. There's another couple of missions here. Go ahead and hit refresh on everything here. Let's see if I've got some more missions in foreign. Yep, there's a new 600,000-esque mission. And we will just go in between foreign and perimeter. That is our entire goal. Later on, we'll show off, there are special systems in the game that when you are in that system, you will only get a whole bunch of missions for that system and no others around it. Those systems are called high-sec islands, high-security islands. They are islands surrounded by 2 systems that are low-sec. And you can definitely head there, but it is going to take you far away from, like a marketplace or anywhere where people might converge. Other than that one system, a lot of people will be in that one system. Right, let us go ahead and head to foreign.
Autopilot engaged. Warp drive active.
while we're
Warp drive
traveling,
active.
I'm going to reload this one here. Just so I can have a better FPS on that one. Emulators are certainly not for everyone. If you get annoyed by weird glitches and things just not working quite the way you would expect it to, don't go to an emulator unless you're trying to do only one character on an emulator. And then maybe you'll have less glitches. Just waiting on our ship to get here. Alright, everybody is here. All of our orbits are set to 20 kilometers. And let's go ahead and warp in. We will have to be active tanking, which means as we are fighting, we are actively monitoring our health and turning on and off our shield booster. Swap our weapons to the one that's closest. So if you remember, we actively have a range of 22.68 kilometers. So even if we're just a little bit over that 20-kilometer orbit, we will still be able to hit them. You know, ships are just gonna do what they're supposed to.
Enemy ships detected.
You can see we're taking a little bit of damage on our second ship here, but it is nowhere near as much of a problem as anything else that we've dealt with.
ships detected.
Something to note with missiles is that even if you fire your missiles at maximum range, that does not guarantee that you will hit the target. You can think of like a jet fighter firing a missile. If two of them are following each other, one is following the other, and they are 5 kilometers apart, and you fire a missile with a 8-kilometer range, if those jets are moving fast enough, the missile will still have to travel those 5 kilometers, plus the distance that the target has moved over its travel time. And so that could result in the missile not reaching its target due to the extra distance that its target has gained as it was trying to make it to the target. So always try to make sure you are within range of your target and that what you're firing at is not running directly away from you or around you so fast the missile can't keep up.
Fleet warp.
Wait.
Fleet warp.
Warp drive
So you
active.
can see that running the Corax is a lot less stressful or involved because it can sit at range. It can just avoid most damage that comes toward it. And overall, it's just a comfortable ship to fly if you don't want to pay all that much attention to it. If we had capacitor rigs, we would have been able to run our shield booster like 24/7, and thus allowing us to take our attention away from the game more often. So, drones, when we're talking about how drones apply their damage, they are similar to a turret where when they fire, the damage will be immediate. However, they still have the issues of tracking targets and trying to follow the target because they have shorter weapon ranges than most regular weapon systems. They will have to fly out to the target and start orbiting them as they are trying to shoot them. They do have an optimal range and a fall-off range for their weapon systems. And if they are orbiting too far or too close, they can cause themselves to either not apply damage or to do less damage than intended. I mean, there really is a really good reason why people like missiles, is they just don't have to pay attention to how they're flying, and they can focus more on keeping themselves alive.
Enemy ships detected.
Taking quite a while to get in range. And we're gonna go ahead and just start repairing. If you're ever struggling to kill a small, fast ship, a webifier and a scrambler are going to be your best friend. So we're going to stay a little bit more at range.
Fleet warp.
For this mission, it is a more expensive mission,
Warp drive active.
and so it will be more dangerous for us. The enemies we face might have more range. So I actually need all of these ships to focus the same target. So long as we are orbiting, we should be fine. But as soon as we stop being able to orbit, we will start taking damage quite significantly.
We're under attack. We're under attack.
There we go. Let our capacitor start taking over. Still trying to heal up. Gotta let this capacitor recharge a bit.
Warning, capacitor running low. Warning, capacitor running low.
Go ahead and get to 21 kilometers on the orbit.
Warning, capacitor running low.
Like I said, I want to try to stay above that 30%, because that is going to be a better recharge rate for our capacitor.
Warning, capacitor running low. Warning, capacitor running low. Warning, capacitor running low. Warning, capacitor running low.
You're seeing how I'm having to kind of juggle my weapon activation, or my shield booster, because we just don't have quite the capacitor to handle what's going on. If we have to, we will go ahead and warp everything out. And now that we're down to the last enemy, we can let our capacitors recharge and just be much more satisfied with what's going on.
Enemy ships detected. We're under attack.
Kinda need to focus fire on these guys. Wow, something just muted the heck out of my capacitor.
Warning, capacitor running low. Warning, capacitor running low.
We're gonna warp
Autopilot
ourselves out.
engaged.
This is exactly why we save our
Warp drive active.
stuff. We are being muted by one of the thoraxes.
Docking request accepted.
By docking like that, it has given us our shield back.
Warp drive active.
Wow, it just instantly nuked my capacitor. Okay. We're doing okay here.
We're under attack. We're under attack.
In these kinds of missions, when you can't just let your shield booster run, it is really rough. Now that there's no neutralizer on me, that means I can maintain my capacitor just fine.
Warning, capacitor running low.
It'll let our capacitor do what it can to recharge. So, the neutralizer that was hitting me was a medium Nosferatu neutralizer. And that's what sapped all of my capacitor, other than me running the shield booster. I'm actually going to take these back to perimeter. I don't think they will survive the next wave in the current condition that they're in. So I'm just going to clear out what I can.
Enemy
Autopilot
ships
engaged.
They are quite far away, but also a little too close for comfort.
Warp drive active.
There we go. We are safe and away. And I'm going to grab the other ships.
Warp drive active.
And we'll keep working on this ship once we have more money. Um, it'll need 2 capacitor controls, and I think it should be fine after that. But like I said, we're going to be moving into the cruiser pretty soon, so I don't think we'll fly this all that often. It was just a nice example of another ship that you could do missions with, if you were looking to pay less attention.
Desdocking request accepted.
Head back to foreign.
Autopilot engaged. Undocking.
And we will finish that mission with our standard ship.
Warp drive active.
As a single player, if you are running missions and you're having trouble, the best advice I can give you is
Warp drive active.
a solo player will have to upgrade their ships significantly more than a multi-box player. That's due to DPS constraints, tank constraints, capacitor constraints. A multi-boxer will have enemies actively changing targets, so there's not all the DPS is ever on one ship, so they can fit more DPS than a single player will be comfortable with. And then they will also have 2 other ships in some cases, or 1 other ship that is providing literally double what the single player ship is going to be doing, with less investment in the ships themselves.
Fleet warp.
Warp drive active.
We're just gonna kind of let our ships do their thing. I'm going to keep an eye on the one that's important. Right now, we're not taking all that much DPS. We always have that second armor repair in case they start doing some massive damage to us. Let's see what our resistances are showing on our armor. So 20, 45, 45, and 50. That means we're taking a lot of kinetic damage, because normally we have like 30-something resistance. So our reactive armor hardener is putting in a lot of work to maintain a higher resistance to the damage coming in. The most damage that's coming in. Wow, 42 kilometers away on that one ship.
We're under attack.
We're gonna let the drones finish off the last ship. Hey, let's go ahead and warp ourselves to the next mission.
Warp drive active.
This second character has not been very lucky. It has not gotten all that many we need to set all these orbits to 0.
Enemy ships detected. We're under attack. Shield damaged. Enemy ships detected.
You can see our
We're under
capabilities have been quite vastly improved over the last couple of days. We went from struggling to make it through missions in a destroyer to actually doing just fine. And once you start getting into a cruiser, your capabilities significantly increase over a destroyer. You're looking at double, most times triple the DPS. You're going to be looking at a lot more tank. You're going to have the options of better modules. You're going to have overall more health, but you are going to be slower.
fleet warp.
So just because you go bigger, it doesn't mean
Warp
everything
drive
is better,
active.
but overall your experience will be much better flying a larger ship. You don't have to. You can absolutely go and take a frigate and make it the most amazing frigate in the game, and you can do all of the content that the battleships are doing. It's just going to take you much longer.
ships detected.
We now have 40 extra power grid to play with. And unfortunately, there's just no medium Nosferatu that'll fit in that.
Enemy ships detected.
Additionally, because we are able to orbit at 0 in a normal mission while staying alive, all of our ships are always going to be in combat, so all of our DPS is always going to be active.
Fleet warp.
Warp drive active.
We're under attack. Enemy ships detected.
So you can see, once you have the capacitor need
Under attack.
covered, meaning that you can run all of your modules or most of your modules as just a passive thing, you find that you can survive a lot better because of that.
Enemy ships detected.
And it's not as exhausting to try to
We're under
keep up
attack.
with what's going on. Okay, this one has completed its missions.
Fleet warp.
Warp drive active.
Enemy ships detected. We're under attack.
Let's keep it up nicely here. So what we're doing is just going through the motions. We're locking everything up. We're seeing which ship is being targeted. And making sure that we are staying as healthy as possible. For as long as possible.
Enemy ships detected.
And one ship is being heavily targeted right now with a scrambler. So if you want to see which ship is scrambling you, you would come to the ship icon here, select that. If you don't have that, go to advanced settings and turn on your display filter tag. And that is the ship that you want to focus on so you're not being absolutely yeeted. And you're not locked down so you can warp out when you're ready to. Okay, I think I'm gonna be able to turn off my second repair there. We ate through quite a bit of capacitor between a Nosferatu being on us and running our second repair, but that's fine.
Fleet warp.
Warp drive active.
We're under attack.
Okay. Here we go. Okay, so we can't benefit from the Dragoon.
We're under attack. Enemy ships detected.
So don't be upset as a new player if you're not making a whole lot of money right away. The whole goal right now is just to learn how the game works. And once you know how the game works, how each of the enemies that you're going to regularly face is going to react to you, you can then take that information later on and use that to significantly enhance your capabilities, and then you will start making more money.
Fleet warp.
Warp drive active.
So the next thing that I would do on these ships,
We're
on top of getting the second capacitor control rig,
under attack.
it would be to get a Nosferatu for the mid slot instead of a Web of Fire.
Enemy ships detected. Enemy ships detected. We're under attack.
I have to wonder if it would be worth investing in these ships just a little bit more so we have a really good backup that we can fall back on.
Fleet warp.
But at the same time, the ships that
Warp drive active.
we will be getting soon, the Vexor Trainer, is just so much more capable, and I would rather use our money to enhance that significantly. Let's see, what's a Vexor Trainer currently worth on the market? Okay, so it's worth about 2.3 million on the market right now. That means, technically, we could fly, at least 2 of those
Enemy ships detected.
with our current, income level. We won't have any skills in it, and so that's why we're not swapping over to it. And we can also get them for free in a couple more days. So we're going to use all the ISK that we build up over the next couple of days. And we are going to enhance our Vexor Navy, or our Vexor Trainer, to the best capability it can go. And then probably by the end of the month, when we hit Tech 6, we will upgrade to a regular Vexor rather than the Vexor Trainer. And with the money we've made from the Vexor Trainer, we should be able to put that into the Vexor and make that Vexor the best ship we can fly up until Tech 7, which will be a couple of months. It's like a month and a half.
We're under attack. We're under attack. Fleet warp.
Warp drive active.
The ships are clearing extremely well right now.
Enemy ships detected. ships detected. We're under attack.
Go ahead and just add an extra repair in case it starts getting a little crazy. And at this point, when you're settled down like this, and you're not doing anything like crazy like hard missions, you really can just let the game do what it needs to do to complete the mission, and then once it's done, you warp off to the next one.
Fleet warp.
Warp drive active.
We're under attack. Enemy ships detected. Enemy ships detected.
Okay, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go into the settings. When I scroll down under battle settings, right, I need to make my armor start going off at about 70, 80%, 70%. It's going to cause a lot of extra audio sounds. So by changing when the audio cue happens for low armor, it will snap my attention to the game and I can start handling a more dangerous situation than what we're used to, just casually flying around like this.
Warp drive active.
And we've got kind of a hard mission here,
Enemy ships detected.
and then all of our standard missions that we have left.
We're under attack.
So Quake is going to be our next difficult mission that we'll do.
Enemy ships detected. We're under attack.
This game is super easy to accidentally fall asleep to when you have yourself in a position that the game almost plays itself in some cases. And that is partially what a lot of people like about this game, is once you're in this position where the game kind of plays itself, people like to have it going in the background at work or while they do other jobs around the house, while they drive. Overall, there are a lot of people who just like to have the game going overnight as well. Not that I would recommend any of these, because there are definitely instances where you can end up dying because you're just not paying attention to the game.
Fleet warp.
Warp drive active.
So you always want to be in a position where if something is going on, you can look over and say, oh my goodness, let me save that.
ships detected.
So a thing to note about multi-boxing like I am here, when you are multi-boxing, you want your ships to be very similar, such as you're gonna want your 3 ships to have almost the same fit, or the exact same fit, so that way as you're moving between ships and clicking on modules, you're not hunting for where is this module now? Where did that module go? It's just a natural instinct to go, no matter what ship it is, my module is always right there.
Fleet warp.
We
Warp
got
drive
one more
active.
mission that we can just not pay attention to, and then it's the 600,000th mission again. It is interesting how luck in this game can sometimes determine how much money you end up making for the day. For example, today could have been a day where I had only those 600,000th missions from all of my characters, and we could have had like a 5 or 10 millionist day, just no problem whatsoever.
Enemy ships detected.
But
We're under attack.
we could also just have a situation with, like, what we see here. We've got one character with 3.5 million, one character with 2.5 million, and one character with 1.5 million. All down
Ship
to
damaged.
a couple of poor purchases and just not getting the luck to get the 600,000th missions.
Enemy ships detected.
Compared to a couple of days ago, we're pretty much not even having to pay attention at all, other than making sure that we are locking onto targets. And when we get to the harder missions, we have to pay attention to those a little bit.
We're under attack.
And we have no other normal missions. Nope, we have one more normal mission.
Fleet warp.
Warp drive active.
We're under attack.
We're now reliably making a bounty of 138,000. And we're not doing anything more than what we had a couple days ago. We're actually doing less work and making more
Ships
money
detected.
because of the way we've set up our ships. And we're just keeping an eye on our health.
We're under attack.
Just gonna cycle the repair once. Get that extra heal in so we can be topped off.
Enemy ships detected.
Okay, and this is the hardest wave that we're gonna face. It's game time. Gonna go ahead and turn on our webs. We're going to focus fire on whichever Algos that was. We're still doing just fine. Heck, we almost didn't even have to pay attention. So this here is that scrambler that I keep warning you guys about. It will jam you and you will be unable to get away until you get rid of it. It will turn off micro warp drive, so if you have a micro warp drive on and a scrambler hits you, you will be dead in the water.
We're under attack.
Nice and easy. This was the easiest one we've had yet. Alright, so there's a couple of things I want to do before I get off for the day. We're gonna head to Gina. Actually, I wonder if we've got any loot that I can pick up. Maybe there'll be something kinda good. Nice, a Mark III armor repair. That is a benefit. And a reactive armor hardware. Okay, so nothing I needed there.
Autopilot
Let's go ahead and head
engaged.
to Gina. We're gonna pick up 3 small Nosferatus,
Warp drive
and
active.
I might consider buying 2 more capacitor rings. Or one more capacitor ring for each ship. With the money we're making and the
Warp drive active.
comfortability of our ships, we should be able to start building up enough money to get a really good fit for the Vexor trainer. There's a Lost Waste Seeker medium in perimeter. Those are
Warp drive
highly
active.
difficult missions that you can run, and they usually have pretty good loot, but I would not try to run them in a destroyer. They are meant for Tech 10 ships, which is usually centered around a battleship.
Warp drive active. Docking request accepted.
I need a capacitor warfare module. Small Nosferatu. What do we have here? Mark III or Upier? I think I will buy 3 Mark III. And while we're here, we'll check on the cost of capacitor rings. Actually, for that cost, I will go ahead and buy 1. That is significantly better than a few days ago. Go ahead and put our new rigs on here. And we will swap out our Webifier for an Energy Nosferatu. You can see now that we are showing as completely cap stable. So long as we have that Nosferatu running. Is that right? Yeah. Because otherwise, if that Nosferatu is not on something, we're only going to have 4 minutes of capacitor. So this Nosferatu is going to be about 7 kilometers in range for 50% effectiveness. We can increase that a little bit. by skilling into electronic warfare. And just make sure that you are taking everything from the hangars. So you're not leaving anything weird behind that you might have wanted. And we're gonna head back to our home in Perimeter.
Autopilot engaged. Undocking.
Well, if you like what you've seen here, you can find me on YouTube under the name Orion Ikeoa, the same name as you see here on the channel. You can find my link in
Warp drive active.
my information page. Thank you all so much for joining me. And if you want me to see if we can do anything, just leave a comment. I love talking to you guys. Have a good one and be safe.